Hey guys, welcome to another art criticism video. My name's Kopera, I teach art. When I tell my students to analyze a painting, first step, well let's call it step 0, because 0 is the hero, is seeing, and the way that we are going to see is to draw. So I invite my students in their sketchbooks to study works of art by first drawing with a light pencil. Notice that my pencil is gray, and I'm going to have the smallest line I possibly can. I'm going super light. I'm just coming in with my pencil, and I am just seeing the space. And I'm realizing right now, you could take your eraser at the beginning, sure. But I'm realizing that there is a lot of space like around this head. So I'm seeing like a big head. So what is this? This is the beginning of understanding a work of art, is seeing it. And in order to see something, you need to draw it. So I'm seeing a nose kind of come around. Right? And it makes me think that there is something very asymmetrical going on with this face. I mean, I see a face, but it's not just any sort of normal face. So what I'm seeing right here is I'm seeing kind of like really, really specific, specific shapes in this face. Like if I were to go ahead and if I were to take a photo of it, let's see if I can just import it right into our note. Stay with me, students don't go, sending to Notability. Is it going to go to the right note? Okay, done. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but if I were to actually draw directly on this, I just want to point out some things as you're drawing it. Let's see, can I color right on it? I mean, when you're drawing something, you should see the shapes. So I'm going to draw directly on it. Like I see kind of like a box shape right there. So you got to start to think like in circles and shapes. Okay, I see a big circle kind of there, right? And then the nose kind of comes down, but I just wanted to point that out. Like if for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, I can't draw this, Miss Kopera, you're crazy. Like, yeah, you can. Okay, there's nothing wrong. The only thing that's wrong is not trying, and you want to keep trying. Do. So, yeah, I mean, how is everyone doing? We are working at home, sketching at home. See like a circle there. Talk about the painting. Okay, so then I'm seeing this mouth come around. I mean, what's cool about drawing Basquiat is it already kind of looks a little weird, so you can't be like, it doesn't look nice. I mean, it's like it's the point. Is the point that it looks a little strange. Yeah, ooh, and I forgot to set my timer. Look at me. Naughty. Time is limited. Siri, set my timer for 4 minutes. And you want to, write the title. This is Untitled by
4 minutes and counting.
Basquiat. Untitled, believe it or not. I think the year is 1981. I could be making that up. Okay. So this isn't any normal eye, but we could go ahead. We could put in a circle. I see a lot of line. I mean, are you crazy? We need to do like a art fundamentals video online. There is just so much line. I tell my students there's no such thing as too much line. I mean, look at all the scratchiness happening in this box. Like, draw it with me. Like, look at all these lines zipping in around. And, that's the key. All of the line creates texture. I'm seeing like a big old shape right there. I mean, and then the eyes are different colors. You rarely see an entire top of an eye, but you do here. I'm seeing a lot of dark value. What is happening with his teeth? I mean, just a bunch of triangles, right? Okay, and ooh, look at these teeth. These teeth are not doing well. Okay, we have to think about going to the dentist. I think Basquiat is awesome. Look, he takes risks. He doesn't hold back. He is fearless. You guys should read about him. And you should use him to inspire visual journal pages. Extra credit if you do a Basquiat kind of like piece in your journal. Like draw a face like this in your journal. I mean, I know you're drawing this one, but do a Basquiat inspired one with markers. Oh, that would be so cool. I'm so jealous. I wish I had the time to do that, but I have children. And yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of weird shapes. Like I'm seeing like zigzags and stuff. And I'm seeing so many lines. I mean, is this hair? It must be. The hair feels very like sporadic and very forced and very tense. Repetition of line. Talk about hatching. Okay, should I put in some color? Is there time? I mean, you always get a strong sense of a piece when you're thinking about color. Got this thing is surrounded with some blue. Untitled. So you could take your marker, your Copic marker, and just drop in a background. Don't stress about like anything because it's crazy looking. A great introduction to human anatomy and thinking about drawing faces. By the way, like, check it out. Eyes, even in Basquiat, the proportions are right. The eyes are in the center. You see that? They're halfway down the head. Right? This is the top half in the blue. And that's the bottom half. 1, 2. Eyes are right in the middle. Right? So you think like, oh my gosh, the forehead isn't that big. Yeah, well, it is. It is. We got big brains. We just got to learn to use them. And by we, I mean we. Okay, there's a lot. I'm going to just kind of like point out to myself. This is being timed, but all of the red. I mean, the red, you have to take notice. Like, what artist uses red? It kind of pulls the eye around the face. Yes? When I do art, I use red because it's fun. It's like taking a risk. It's like, whoa, they're saying something. Okay, we got red. I'm noticing like a lot of, do I have black? I'm noticing a lot of black and that's it. That is my time. And I want to keep drawing. And I'm fine if you keep drawing, but it's just kind of like, you know, at some point you need to move on. Okay, I want to draw more, but it's like I can't because this is our criticism exercise. You're welcome to go above and beyond and do more of a drawing. Look, I can't stop. I love it so much. I mean, there's something about the dark, bold lines. Maybe I'll give myself another minute. Give yourself another minute. Ignore the teacher. There's something about these dark lines that's just pretty intense to me. Hatching, hatching, hatching. And then you got dark value here. Whoa, look at this dark value. This like triangular I can't talk. Mandible? This triangular jaw. Notice how the lines are broken, right? They're not straight through. And then it curves around. Okay, so what's happening here? There's a thick, thick, thick black line here. I'm going to, like lines are in different thicknesses. This is not, yeah. I have to like stop and like thicken the lines. Who uses thick lines like this? Okay, so I know I'm going to talk about color and line in this drawing. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pause to make sure this is recording. Siri, set my timer for 4 minutes. On to 4 minutes. I am on with step 2, making sure my microphone's on. So yeah, in DAIJ, like we can look back at our key.
4 minutes and counting.
Description, analysis, interpretation, judgment. So what you want to do with your peeps is you want to use something that goes with your key to go ahead and describe. So I'm going to make my pen smaller. Okay. I see a face. It appears to be a man. He seems like he is stressed, and he has been through a lot. Okay, so you guys write down what you see. I am noticing broken teeth. Everyone's labeling. Don't just annotate what I'm annotating. Write in the chat right now what you see. A square jaw, as if he is stressed out. I see like someone who's broken. Do you guys see that? Like he's sad. So let's talk about some elements of art. Look at all this hatching. It's like he's worried, you know? Expressive. That expressive means emotion, right? So emotional, expressive line. I'm going to box that because that's one of my elements of art. Seems to show the broken places, the scars. So I talk about, you know, right now I'm talking about line. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. I could say more. I do want to talk about color. So the painting, or what am I doing? Oops. The face of the worried man is surrounded by color. Blue. My students always say blue represents sadness. Blue representing, I'm not going to say sadness. A cold world. The texture. Ooh, got another element in. Yes, points for me. The texture is rough and messy. Like this life, it's rough and messy. Things are messy. So I talk about color. I talk about texture. Stop and self-monitor, guys. 1, 2, or actually that's 3, 4. So I do talk about different elements of art. Maybe I want to stop and I want to draw. Look, these, it looks like a scar, right? And it's actually white, a white scar against the black. I can't get over all these shapes. Like, oh, that's another element of art. Am I on to 4 or 5? Messed up. Repetition of, ooh, another art word. Yes. Of shapes shows disorder. Like there's something wrong inside. Right? So I say shapes. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to highlight that. Yes. So again, I just went ahead and I took the time to describe. It's interesting that we got like, do I even have this pink color? Oh yeah, here. It's interesting that we got like pink happening over on this side, right? And it's almost like the blue goes inside of the head. The blue inside of the environment goes inside the head. And what's up with this writing? Like, what does that mean? You guys look it up. See if you can figure it out in the chat. Look it up. Reminds me of a little kid. Maybe something happened during his childhood. I'm not giving anything away because I didn't read about this yet. Like, this is total art criticism. Look, we got splashes of red here. We got splashes of red here. So clear color balance. We even got a scar outside. Look at this scar outside. And look at this just mess. It's like something happened. Look at this purple, almost like a tear. Okay, guys, I am over my 4 minutes. I just kept going. But it's almost like there are tears kind of like coming out. See if you can capture that. Wow, this is a beautiful piece. So many scratches. I mean, it makes me sad, but I don't know. I'm like connecting to it. Look at all of this hatching. And then the yellow lines. Okay, I got to move on. Obviously, I'm getting all excited about this. But I don't know. I relate to it. Isn't this what it's like to be a human, guys? This would be, this is, talk about line weight. We talk about, like an art fundamental video, like this week, we're also talking about line, and like line weight makes a big deal. Look at this. Like how thick and thin a line is. Okay, I'm going off the rails and I'm getting off track. Okay, but make sure you're drawing. Notice like the triangle shapes. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I just think it's so interesting. Look at all this, all these scars. Okay, so that will bring me to the next one. All right, guys, I think we are back. No, we're not back. Are we recording? Yes, we are. This is a recording because it says the recording thing. Miss. Okay, next step is to like think about how it's organized. That's the second question. So again, for everyone who's in like all the groups, again, a review, we go through description, which I was writing in blue, and then we go through analysis. And these are the questions on our fire, right? So this is kind of what my digital journal looks like. So I am writing in a green color. So I don't know if you have a green pen, or you can write in your green marker. But this has to do with the principles of design. It's interesting, I see no green here. No green at all. Okay, but okay, so where's the focal point? How do we know? Kind of like first question. Where does my eye go first? My eye, to be honest, goes to this eye. Right? I look at this red eye. I'm going to go ahead and surround that. Right. Make that thinner. Too fat. Right eye is the focal point. I feel like it's the focal point because it's surrounded. It's almost like it's circled. Because Basquiat circles the eye with repetitive hatching. Make sure my mic's on. Mic is on. Yeah, like repetitive hatching, like the person's been through a lot. I mean, look at all those. It's almost like he wants us to see the red, bright, intense red is the entry point. And then, you know, it's interesting. The eye is looking down and it takes us down this path to his teeth, right? Eye is directed by expressive line to teeth. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Again, you don't have to write exactly what I'm writing, but there's all the scribbly lines. Our eye goes in there, and then we kind of like go down to the teeth. And then we go on this joyride with all this like crazy worries. So I talk about the focal point. It is unified, second principle, due to repetition of scars. What can we say about the color palette? color palette, black, brown, red, and blue and yellow. What is that? Those are primary colors. Main primary colors. A little bit of purple, but mostly primary colors. But I would say it's limited. A lot of brown and black. Does this have to do with race? You know, is race weighing down on his like frontal cortex? So much black and brown. So it's unified. We're repeating those lines. And I am already out of time. As far as visual balance, I feel like you got the red. Of course it's balanced. It's famous. But you got the red here. You got the red here. Obviously it's asymmetrical. It's almost like the red balances out the red in the eye. I don't know where... I feel like the line of symmetry would be right in the middle. Right here. Because you got red on the top and the bottom. You got this red blob and this red blob. It is balanced. I'm not looking at one side. So you could say, yes, it's balanced. And you could talk about other principles. I feel like there definitely is some random rhythm going on. Random rhythm. Okay, I ran out of space. Awesome. Rhythm. And guys, you know, pause this video. You should be writing in the chat, my students. You don't copy exactly what I'm putting. Rhythm is R-H-Y-T-H-M if you do want to put that down. But rhythm is when you repeat similar visual motifs. And I feel like the motif that is being repeated are these lines, yes? And these like squares of the stuff he's been through. These sporadic brown lines, right? Like going throughout. It's just kind of like the randomness of life is happening to him. You got these thin yellow lines. It's almost like there's no control up here, right? He's been like assaulted or brought down by something, by the weight of experience and existence. That's what I'm getting. I'd be interested if you guys like wrote in the chat. You got some beige happening. So what is beige? Beige is a lighter tint of yellow happening over here. That's interesting. Why? It's powerful how the light color comes in. You're kind of like, okay, why the whiteness on the outside and all of the blackness? Black is powerful. To use it in an art piece, that takes guts. He's definitely saying something. Look at this triangle. Okay. So yeah, that was step 2, focal point. We just went over, obviously, is this eye because of so much happening, the repetition of those lines going around. Look, did you get this in here, guys? We got this curve and then the line, linea. And you actually have a red iris. Who has a red eye? Why is this eye? And so much scratching. So much scratching, so much pain, and this blue, again, is bringing the eye around. These details contain secret meanings using the purple. Almost says every color of the rainbow. And it's that line and that scribbliness. I would use your color pencils for this, guys. That brings the eye kind of around. We got pink happening. I'd be interested for you guys to write in the chat, like, why so many colors? Why so much line? Look, notice if he uses the pink over on one space, he'll use it somewhere else. Even as light pink. What do you think the different colors represent? Wow. Such an intense... Does anyone relate to this? Does anyone feel like this person? Look, this eye, the cornea is pink. Whereas this eye, the cornea is yellow. So what does 2 different eyes mean? Okay, I got to go on to the next step, which is theme. Whenever we do this in class, my students like don't want to go on and talk. They just want to draw, which I totally get. You have like some of the color pouring out. What is happening with this blue and the teeth? This is really like just totally visually balanced. Because if you got blue on the top, you got blue on the bottom. And then you have the light. I wonder what he drew with. Someone look up. What did he do his drawings with? It's like he has white chalk on the top. And he's drawing with white. Such a beautiful piece. Such an honest piece. I look at this and I think of honesty. I wonder if we could use this when we're doing our sophomore promise later. He wears the mask that grins and lies. Look at that. Really take the time to go in with your pen and the repetition. You guys are like, Miss, you're supposed to go on. It's almost like it's a skeleton. How come it took me so long to say that? Because I'm drawing, I'm seeing. Look at this square right here. Things really start to come out when you start drawing it. Yeah, you got this black shadow. Look at all of this black inside of the front. Oh my goodness. I look at this and I see someone who's been through a lot. You know, the outline, repetition right there. Guys, I'm having too much fun drawing this. I don't know. I dare I say I connect to it? Is that unfair? I feel like I don't know this person's pain fully. But I know pain. I know what pain is like. But this is a different, profound pain. Okay, I really hope that the screen recorded. So what happened just now? We talked about how this right here is the focal point, and then it brings the eye around. It's obviously unified because of the repetition of the lines. Kind of like a random rhythm. It's visually balanced because you have like colors on both sides. So that was the second step of art criticism, which is analysis, where you talk about the principles. Principles. Okay, let's move on to the next step. All right, guys, rock and roll. Welcome back. This is our next step. This is interpretation. This is the fun step. I'm just paranoid that my microphone's off. Microphone's on. I've had too many times where I've done these videos and my audio's not there. And I'm like, no. Okay, interpretation. I did interpretation purple. Guys, your journal can be a messy space. Don't worry about it. Interpretation purple. You know, I don't even want to write here anymore. It's just so messy. I can hear my students now. So, for the kids who crave order, I am with you. I understand. Let me write in my neatest teacher handwriting right now. Okay. So, interpretation is when we come up with a message. You know, I don't want you to go ahead and just copy my theme, right? I want you to think about symbols first. So what are some red symbols, right? I don't know. He's the symbol. The red eye, the broken teeth. So maybe we'll just jump to topics. Normally I'd be like, okay, well, what represents what? Topics. When I look at this, a topic is a big word, right? I think of pain, misery. Think of all the letters in the alphabet, guys. Poverty, scars. To be honest, just because of people in my life I know, I think of mental illness. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what it's like to be mentally ill. Pain, poverty, mental illness, like a total lack of control. I don't know, you could look at the red eye, you could think, yo, what just happened? You could think, you know, addiction, maybe. Right? And he's just so broken. So, humanity. And, you know, I relate to this to, you know, everything that I've basically said, right? So all the pain, like this is the disorder. Basquiat is showing his audience how, like, because this is a messed up environment, right? Like this could be a tragedy. This red, that could be a tragedy. How tragedy Causes tragedy in an environment. Like tragedy and environment, like someone's family or someone's situation, circumstances, environment and family causes endless struggles with mental illness. And if I went in, and this is my interpretation, yours might be different, and I want you guys to pause your video. If you haven't already, pause your video. Always pause your video before you start thinking about my ideas, guys. But like all of the, if I were to write a paragraph, I would talk about how all of this line work right here kind of shows kind of like chaos. Ooh, that's a good word. Chaos. You know, and how an environment of mess and tragedy, this is tragedy 1, this is tragedy 2, causes chaos in the mind. Chaos and pain. So that's my interpretation. I'm going to jump in to make this video. No, I'm not going to jump in. So go ahead, pause your video, write a full sentence, try to explain why. You know, take the time to explain why you're going to have to present this. So take the time to explain why. Okay, and we're on my last step. What color was I using in my, oh yeah, judgment. Okay, is this a good work of art? Yes, I think it's an awesome work of art. You could go to your next page. Great step 4. Untitled by, should we get his full name? Yes. Jean, guys, look him up by, and at the end of this, then look it up and try to learn about him. Learn about him and his story. Learn about this painting as people try to dissect it. Basquiat. For Untitled. That's so interesting that's Untitled. It kind of makes me think, why? And you should ask questions during this process. Extra points if I see you asking why and how questions in the chat. Have a seminar. But Untitled is an amazing work of art because, frankly, it makes me think of how the current environment of COVID-19 is impacting the human psyche, and I could go on and on and on, and I would back it up with evidence. So in each step, okay, when you present what the theme is, like if you say the theme is society wants to pretend that, oh wait, that's another thing. If you say the theme is that, how tragedy in the environment causes endless struggles with mental illness. If you're saying that's what the theme is, I want you to back it up. Like say, well, look at all the chaos in the eyes. If you're saying it's a good work of art because it makes me think of what's going on in the world, you could say, well, this right here, this is making me think of those crazy people. I mean, I don't mean to get too political, but like the anger that we saw, you know, currently, contemporarily, with the storming of the Capitol, you know, people are angry, people are frustrated, and there's no logic. Like there's just like these short circuits. And it's such a powerful work of art because it helps me to understand what people are going through, and it gives me human empathy. So that's what kind of like what you would write. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you came up with your own ideas. The other group is also doing a different painting. At the end of the week, remember, you guys are going to have a debate about which one is better. So kind of like work on arguing for your team. And we're going to just keep going with this art criticism unit. Thank you for being my art leaders. I really, really appreciate all of the work that you're doing. And now I would like you to also read about Basquiat. Maybe you can have a reader, a detective in your group. Go find information while everyone's drawing. Okay, everyone, have a good day.